Hello, beautiful people of YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of the vlog. I am really excited to talk about this. As you can see from the title, I met a lot of famous people in the past 48 hours. Pretty freaking dope. So let's just jump right into this. For those of you that don't know, I work for iHeart. Here in Cleveland. I am on their promo team. It's a really cool job. You get to meet a lot of people. The connections that you make and form and relationships that you have are unlike anything that you could probably get in most jobs. So freaking love my job, man. But anyway, we had one of our biggest events of the summer on Tuesday called Kiss the Summer Hello. It was a concert put on by our 96.5 Kiss FM station. Our promo team here in Cleveland did all the grunt work. This was our event. So it was really, really cool. Jake Miller, AJ Mitchell in real life, Allie Brooke and Ava Max, and Elvis Duran and his crew were all here at the House of Blues. It was insane. So I just kind of want to walk you guys through my experience being on the promo team and the people I got to meet and the conversations I got to have and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I want to start though on Monday. So going chronological order here, Monday, Jake Miller came to town to do a CD signing for his new album and a meet and greet at the FYE in South Park Mall. So I worked that event and it was crazy. The line was wrapped around the staircase and all over the entrance of Macy's. There was a lot of people there to see him, which was great. We had a full house. We had the full 150 maximum that could have been there. It was packed. Jake is a sweetheart. He's just really nice. He actually I think there was 3 girls who didn't make the cutoff to buy the album and get the wristband for the meet and greet, but they were standing outside of the FYE window the whole time watching him perform and stuff. And someone asked if he could let them come in to meet them, and he said yeah. So really sweet guy, really cares about his fans. I did get to meet him and take a picture with him. During his performance, I was probably no more than 10 feet from where he was playing his piano and performing. So that was a really dope experience. Like I said, super sweet guy. But then Tuesday for this Kiss FM concert, so he came, of course, back because he was performing to the House of Blues. And like I said, all those other artists were there too, including Elvis Duran. Literally everyone was at this event because we had all of our local DJs there, Ashley Z, Java Joel, Alan Collin was there, and yeah, it was just insane. So just starting off, so I got to the House of Blues and we had a little bit, more a lot of it, a downtime because we got there early to make sure everything was set up and good. But then we really didn't have too much to do until the doors were going to be open to start letting people in, especially for the meet and greet. Jake Miller's meet and greet was first. So I was kind of just walking around chilling. So I and the whole promo team had full access badges. So we were allowed anywhere in the venue at any time. We could go wherever we wanted pretty much. And that was really cool because I've never had full access like that before. That was pretty dope. You feel pretty special because you're oh, I can get backstage and go out these doors and come back in and no one's gonna ask me any questions, things like that. So I was kind of just chilling, walking around. I was in the House of Blues once for a concert, but I didn't really get to go down the hallway. I've never been in the restaurant. Like I didn't know like in relation, like where everything was to each other because I never really got to walk around. Now I feel like I know the place like the back of my hand. But I was just kind of chilling, like walking around. I like ended up going to the bathroom, ran into my promotions director in there, and another girl on the promo team, she was like, hey, can you come help me grab something, whatever. So we were like headed backstage because all of their stuff was like in one of the rooms, like where the artists usually hang out and wait until they go on to perform. And in real life comes walking in the back of the hallway, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're so glad to see you. Like we didn't know where to go, and like we're lost, and like they didn't know like where they were. It was like really funny because I guess they drove themselves to the venue. One of the boys is from Shaker Heights, so he like knows the area really well. And we're like, oh no, like right in here is like the stage door. So we like took them on the stage because they were there to do sound check. And they were so sweet. Like they all gave us like hugs. And like granted, some of our team have met them before because they've been like in our studio and stuff. I've never met these guys. But they were so nice and just like, oh, like, hi, how are you? Like, nice to meet you. Like all this stuff, hugs all the way around. They are dope too. They can sing. Like if you haven't like heard of them or listened to their music, I encourage you to because they really are talented. They're very good at what they do. So shout out to In Real Life. They're a sweet boy group for sure. So anyway, so like somehow I end back up in there for the end of their sound check. I was like listening to them, which is how I came to find out what I just told you about how talented they are. We went out, had like a promo team meeting, and pretty much got stationed. So for most of the night, like I was in the meet and greet room, and like my job was kind of to get the line in, like get the people in line to meet the artists, and then from there, like when they were leaving, to cut their wristbands off because each artist had a different color wristband. So just to make sure, you know, like they didn't try to come back in or something like that, I had to take them off. So that was pretty cool because I got to be in the room like where everything was like happening. I was in the room where it happened. Sorry, Hamilton reference. Yeah, so that was like kind of my role for the night, which was cool because I got to see people coming in and how excited they were, and then I got to see people coming out and leaving and how like happy they were. A couple of fans were like crying at some point, you know, meeting one of the artists, and you know, I love seeing that because I know that feeling when you like relate to someone's music and you like admire them as a person and as, you know, an artist, and then like you get to meet them. All those emotions are there, and I love it. I really love it. So that was kind of my role for the night. But before that started, I somehow ended up, I know how it happened because my boss, shout out to Jeff Z. He's like the coolest guy ever. He knew that like I loved Allie. Like I was there like for Allie and Elvis. Like those were like the two people I was like most excited to see. And he's like, and I heard through the door, I was like, is Allie in there doing sound check right now? Because I heard like low key playing, and that's been my jam. That's been on like repeat. And he's like, yeah, like, do you want to go back and like watch the sound check? I was like, yeah. So he like took me back there with him. I mean, I could have like got back there myself, but like you're also there to work. So like you try not to like take advantage of like that privilege. But the fact that he was like inviting me to go, I was like, oh yeah, definitely, I'm gonna go back with you. So we go backstage, and I'm on the side of the stage, and I'm like watching her do her sound check. She is so cute. She's just like this little petite girl, and like, she's just so cute and little, and I just love her. So she comes off of the stage, and like there was a couple people ahead of me, and like I wasn't going to like initiate contact because like that's like not your role there. Like you're supposed to be chill and just be like, if they look at you, just be like, hi, like smile, whatever. So she's like talking to a couple people in front of me, and then she gets to me and she's like, hi mama. And she like gives me a hug, and I was like, hi. I was like, I've had that song on repeat. Like, I love you. I don't even remember what I said because in those moments you just kind of like go blank and you just start talking because you're kind of like in a little bit of like a awestruck moment. And she's like, oh, like your eyes are so beautiful. And like, no one has ever complimented my eyes before. Like, even my roommate said when I texted her that, she's like, usually it's your hair. I was like, I know. So she's like, oh, your eyes are so beautiful. And she's like, it's so nice to meet you. And I was like, yeah. So like, she gave me a hug, walked away, and I like wished her good luck on her performance, because you don't know if you're gonna see her again, or before she goes on and stuff like that. So like, the sweetest human being ever. So that was like time 1 of 4 that I got to interact with Allie though. So anyway, so like we go through the meet and greets. I missed Jake's meet and greet. I did want to try to get another picture with him, even though I met him on Monday, because the picture on Monday was not the best of me, not of Jake, just of me. I did not look good in that picture. I'll still probably post it because it's still pretty dope that I got to meet him, but I didn't get to meet him again on Tuesday, except when we were backstage. I think it was like right after Allie came off, and we were like waiting back there until the doors open and stuff, and he got food, and he got some like roasted carrots or something. He's like, does anyone want some carrots? And then I was like, well, are they like soft or are they like hard? Because I don't like when people cook carrots, but they're still hard. Like, they need to be soft. And he's like, oh no, they're soft. Like, that's the only way to go. And then like, we kind of had a conversation again where like I was in the one room and I was like getting water or something. And he said something about like how much he drinks water. I was like, oh my gosh, I love water. It's like all I drink. He's like, it's so good for you. So just a really like down to earth human being talking about carrots and water, I guess. Really sweet kid. And yeah, so I think that was like at the last point I was backstage until later. So we go out to our spots. We start letting the fans in. People are coming in for the meet and greet. Jake's went really fast because we had his and then in real life's like back to back pretty much. Like, it was like boom, boom within like a 20-minute time span. So we had to like move people in and out pretty quickly. So then in real life came out, and I did get to hop in for a picture with them. I think like a couple of them like had like recognized that they had like hugged me earlier when they came on for sound check in the show. So that was pretty cool. And then yeah, things just happened like really freaking quick. We did have like some downtime. So here's what happened. So Elvis Duran flew in like for this event, like him, Scary, Gandhi, they flew in, and I thought it was so freaking, well, it's funny now, but like it wasn't funny in the moment. So I guess something happened with their plane, which that's not like the funny part. Like, that's not funny at all. So something happened with their plane. The first plane that they were on, they had to like stop at this place in New York that they weren't supposed to stop at, because then they had to drive to a different airport to get on a different plane to make it to Cleveland. So it was like this huge thing because they were supposed to be at that rooftop party before they came over to the House of Blues. And it was like this whole thing of like, is Elvis even here? Like, is Elvis even in Cleveland yet? Like, no one knew really like where he was, like if he was gonna be on time. His meet and greet was like at 7:10, and I know like my boss like texted us, it was like 6:15. He's like, Elvis isn't here yet. And we're like, okay. So like, we're like still trying to like get wristbands on people and stuff, but it was just like, I didn't even know if Elvis was gonna make it by 7:10, but he did. So I was kind of disappointed at first with that meet and greet, like on my individual side of things, just because I like had to hop in a picture real quick, but I didn't really get time to like shake his hand or just say like hi, like nothing. It was like very like quick, just like get a picture and go. And then like they were like, everyone was saying like, oh, Elvis isn't staying, like Elvis is leaving, Elvis is left. Like, that's what everyone's telling me. We still had Allie and Ava Max's meet and greets to go. So it's not like I could go backstage or like leave or anything, but everyone's telling me like he's gone. So I was like, oh, crap, like I didn't even get to like say hi to him or like whatever. So I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but at least I got a picture with him. So anyway, Allie came out. which I like got a picture with her again. I told her to slay tonight. That's what I said as I was walking away from her. She gave me another hug. We got our picture together. And then that fan I think who drove from Chicago had a rose for her. And Allie one of her people had put it on the table next to the door because, Allie was taking pictures and she forgot to grab it. One of my coworkers saw it and said, oh, I'll take it to her. So I went in that back hallway and she was like walking away. I was like, hey, Allie. And then she like turned around. I was like, you like forgot your rose. And she's like, oh, thank you, mama. And she like grabbed my hand and like squeezed it and like said, thank you. She's literally one of the sweetest people. And it's not even like that, like sweet where you're like, oh, are they faking it? She's just genuinely like her fans. Like she wanted to talk to like all of them, and she was just so appreciative of like people who were there and who were listening to her music and who like follow her and like are down with her. Like she's just so appreciative of all that, and it's so nice to see that in an artist, especially one who's been in the industry for a couple years now. Like no, she wasn't solo because she was with Fifth Harmony, but still like she's been in this for years and she's still so humble. Like she hasn't been like washed of like the humility and the understanding that like without these people, like her, like without them listening to her music, like she would not be where she's at or like be going where she's going. So that was really nice to see. So yeah, she grabbed my hand, which I felt bad because as soon as I came back, I like touched one of my coworkers' arms and she's like, oh my gosh, your hand is so cold. And I hadn't realized for some reason, like I wasn't cold at all, but my hands were freezing. I was like, oh my gosh, she probably just thought like, why is this girl like half dead? Like her hand is so cold. I just like, Allie just grabbed my hand and I should have realized how cold mine was because hers felt so warm. I was like, oh, like your hand's warm. No, mine's just cold. So yeah, and then we brought our last girl out, Ava Max, to do her meet and greet. I did get a picture with her. Didn't really get to talk to her much or anything though. So yeah, and then we just kind of tore down. All the fans seemed really happy. The House of Blues staff was super nice and super helpful, and they said that that was like the smoothest meet and greet that they've like really ever seen. And it's because our promo team freaking rocks and our bosses are on top of their crap. So, and that, that was like the thing too that made Tuesday's show was like everybody on the iHeart staff, like from like our Cleveland branch, I'm saying, like they were so like excited. Like everyone there was in such a great mood. We were all like really excited, really happy. Like I didn't feel like anyone was like super stressed out with anything. We didn't really have like any huge hiccups or any huge problems. Like I feel like we really all had each other's backs. Like we all said like before the show, like if someone wanted a picture with one of the artists or with Elvis, to make sure like you cover that person, and everyone was like really good about like rotating and like making sure every spot was covered to make sure like we all got our moment with these people. And I think like that made the night like 10 times better. So with that being said, another thing I've always wanted to be backstage / like on the side of the stage when an artist performs. Like I just always thought like that would be the dopest thing, to pretty much be like parallel, like with the artist on stage, but like off to the side behind the curtain. And I finally got to experience that last night. And like to a lot of people are probably like, okay, like that's weird. Like, and it's not even like just so I could like meet the artists like when they go on or come off. Like that's not even like why. There's something about like being like back there and like me. So like I'm weird. I like love seeing like the soundboards and stuff. Like during the sound check, like for in real life, I was like watching them and listening to them, but I was also like kind of like watching the sound guy and like the board. Like I just like seeing like all this behind the scenes stuff and how stuff actually is, worked together and how it actually all like comes together in like the performance you see. So I was like, I just want to be like on the side. I can like see the crowd, I can see the artists. Like it's honestly the best seat in the house in my opinion, because no, you're not like straight on, but you can see them, you can see the dancers, and you're like 10 feet away. See all the behind the scenes stuff. So that finally got to happen last night, which was really, really epic. So just to kind of like wrap up the night, which was crazy in its own regard, like, so Elvis was still there. So I want to say Elvis Duran and his crew, they were still there. So I go backstage, we get like everything cleaned up from the meet and greet room and the lobby, we pack all of it up, and then we were able to like go backstage and like actually watch the show, enjoy the show, which was great for me because Allie came on right around the time that like we were done, you know, cleaning up. But Elvis was back there and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to say hi to him. But I was like, I don't know, like you like get nervous because you're like, you don't want to come off like super like starstruck, which I do want to say I'm pretty proud of myself because at no point did I like really freak out. Like afterward, I was kind of like to some of my promo team members, was like, oh my gosh, I just like talked to like da-da-da, and I was like happy, but I wasn't like crazy or anything. So I was pretty proud of myself for keeping it together. But yeah, I like grew up on Elvis Duran. Like I listened to him and like the morning show, like 96.5 has like always been my station like growing up. And that's how like I kind of kept on top of music and stuff for a very long time in my life. And to be like 5 feet from him and I'm like watching him sit there and I was like, I need to like say something. So something happened where like I went to the other side of the stage, I watched Allie perform, somehow ended up back over to the other side where she had walked off, and one of the DJs had like wanted a group photo with Allie like before she headed out for the night. And I see, and this is like the thing too, so you don't want to overstep your bounds. Like that's something I'm like learning. Like I knew that, but like I'm learning like what that means actually in these situations. You never want to like overstep your bounds or like over ask for anything, but you do want to like set yourself up to be in certain places at right times. Do you know what I mean? So like I saw him and heard him say like, oh, we like need to get a group photo with like the Cleveland DJs and like everything, like with Allie before she leaves. And he has like his phone on. I see his camera. It's like on his camera screen. And so he's walking up the ramp to go in that like back room where everyone was kind of hanging out and waiting and stuff. And I like patted him like on the back, and he like turned around and I said, hey, like, do you need someone to take it? And he said, oh yeah, if you don't mind. Of course I'm not gonna freaking mind. I get to be like in the same space as Allie for another 5 to 10 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? So it's all about like, yes, you're there to like enjoy. Like at that point, like we didn't have anything to do until the very end of the show. So I was there to enjoy the show, but I was also very aware of my surroundings, very aware of who was around me, what they were saying, what was going on, because you never know like when you're gonna be put in like a good place at a good time to have another like possible interaction. So I went in like that back room, I like took their pictures for them and stuff, and then I got to, you know, kind of stand there as like Allie was talking to them, and then she was leaving and I got to hug her again for like the 3rd time of the night, and her just like say like thank you, and like she appreciated like all that we did, and so that was like really sweet of her again, just to like recognize that, and she, you know, she said like multiple times like I love iHeart, or she said iHeart, that's what she said. But so like there again, it's just putting yourself in like that good position to be in, and I'm like, I can take a picture on someone's like phone, like that's not a problem. And then I was still on the same side as Elvis, and I knew Elvis was gonna leave after he introduced Ava Max. So we had like a 20-minute break between Allie going off and Ava coming on. So I was like, okay, I like gotta make this happen. So I don't know what happened, but he was like facing me. So he was here and like Scary Jones was here. And I just kind of walked over and I was like, hi, like, I just want to come over and like say hello. And Elvis, everyone there was so sweet. Like, none of those people have a chip on their shoulder at all, especially someone like Elvis Duran, who definitely deserves to have a chip on his shoulder, does not. Like, I had heard from my bosses that he was like a very sweet guy, but I didn't know how sweet and how personable until like I was talking to him, and I had like a full-on like 2-minute conversation like with him and Scary. Very, very nice people. They were talking to me about Cleveland and like how it's like, you know, being rebuilt up, and like they were asking me like where I was like from and how long I've been working for iHeart. I told them, I was like, I literally started I think like 6 weeks ago. So it's pretty cool to be, you know, in this position like 6 weeks into this job. And, you know, I said, like, I grew up, like, listening to you, love, like, the morning show and stuff. But it was just, like, and he asked me, like, what's your name? And, you know, Scary, I ran into him again at some point. He said, what was your name again? I was like, Nicole. So they were just, like, very nice people. Very, very, oh my gosh, just very nice people. I still can't believe, like, I even just got to talk to them, like, for 2 minutes. Like, and I said, like, I know, like, we took a picture in the meet and greet, but it was really rushed. He's like, yeah, you guys were really, like, flying through them. I was like, I know, like, we were on, like, a time schedule and stuff like that. So, yeah, and then we kind of like separated. I said like thank you so much like for coming, like it's a pleasure. Oh, he was thanking like me / like the iHeart team for like all of our hard work and stuff and like doing all this, which was very nice of him. But I was like, thank you for coming. Like, we should be like thanking you for freaking like all your plane problems. Oh, and I said, I was like, I heard you had some like plane problems, and he's like, yeah. So I said, you guys are headed back tonight. He said, yeah, like we're gonna fly back tonight. And yeah, it was just like a really like human conversation. Very sweet guy. If you don't listen to Elvis Duran, you definitely should. And yeah, and so we watched Ava Max perform. I was on the side of the stage. At one point, she did a cover of Fallen by Alicia Keys, which was amazing. Like, Ava Max can sing. Cause like you hear like these pop singers and they can do like these up-tempo like songs, and it's like, okay, like they're a good artist, but then she did like an acoustic cover of Fallen by Alicia Keys, and you're just like, she can sing like soul, like R&B, like sing. I was like, okay, like Ava Max has like a new fan in me for sure. And her dancer came off though for that. She had 2 dancers, and one went on one side and one went on the side I was on. And so I was just like, I was like, great job out there. And she's like, thank you. And, you know, she's like sweating. So she's like trying to drink water and like dry off and stuff. And I was like, how long have you been dancing for? And I was like, did you start in LA? And she's like, no, I've been dancing for 16 years. I like went to New York. And I was like, oh, so cool. And I'm like, so she like goes back out, and I'm like standing there. I was like, wait a minute. So I follow this choreographer on Instagram. She's from Israel. I think her name is pronounced like, I think it's like Eden. I want to say Eden. It's Eden. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. But I thought I saw on her Instagram that she had just did choreography for Ava Max. And lo and behold, like it was like one of the recent posts that she had, and I like clicked on the video, and it was like choreography for an Ava Max song. And I'm pretty sure like the dancer I just talked to was in this video learning the choreography from her. So I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And I wish I would have realized that sooner. I would have said something to the dancer about it. This is like why you should follow famous people on Instagram. I'm just saying. Famous behind the scenes people, like choreographers and producers and stuff. Cause you never know like who you might run into. The freaking like promotions director for Atlantic Records was there last night with Allie and Ava. So, that was cool. I didn't really get to talk to him, but I do like know his name now, and it was cool just that he was there in general. But then, yeah, so right before Ava came on, or like right after she went on, Elvis and his team headed out the back, and they were leaving, and like I got to see, because it's like I knew I knew they were gonna be leaving. I saw one of our promo people kind of like getting stuff together, and like she had her backpack on, like she was kind of headed out. And so I was like, okay, like pay attention, Nicole. So I kind of like hung around, and then they were leaving, so I like got to shake their hands again. Elvis was like, thank you again so much. And the last thing he said to me, he said, welcome to iHeart Radio. And that was like the coolest thing to hear Elvis Duran like welcome you to iHeart Radio. I was like, all right, like I'm ready to go. And then Scary like gave me a hug, and when he hugged me, he like gave me a kiss on my cheek. And I was just like, that honestly, I probably melted more then than like any other point in the night. I was like, oh, Scary just gave me a kiss on the cheek. He's so sweet. So yeah, that was like really cool. Gandhi's super sweet. She said, it was so nice meeting you. I said, you too, like get home safe, guys. And yeah, that was the night. We like wrapped it up. We packed our stuff up and we were out of there, man. It was incredible. Just an overall, just incredible. I think I was there for like 7.5 hours, and every minute was just so memorable. That's definitely a night like I will never forget. I'm really excited for you all to see the pictures as soon as like they get put up on the Kiss FM website. I'll make sure to like get them on my social media and stuff. Really, really dope experience though. So I didn't know going in if I was gonna get to meet anyone, get a picture with anyone. Like I didn't know how this was gonna go. And just I'm over and above all expectations were met. Like honestly, just everything just came together so like wonderfully. And I'm really, really glad that I have this iHeart job. Definitely a really cool perk to the position. And yeah, that was like the recap of Kiss the Summer Hello. I encourage you all to follow Kiss FM, follow iHeartRadio. I'm sure like there's videos. Kiss FM, like our DJs were like putting up so many like stories and posting videos and photos and stuff all night long. So I encourage you to go on the gram and check that stuff out if you weren't there and you kind of want to see what was going on and how the performances were. But yeah, everyone, just the energy was incredible. The fans were super sweet. Everyone was like super, like no issues at all. Like everyone was like super sweet, super understanding. No one who wasn't, you know, in the meet and greet tried to get in the meet and greet, and like all this stuff just went really, really smoothly. I honestly work with like the best people. Like my colleagues make it super fun too. Like our promo team is like amazing. Really good people to work with, really fun people to work with. So yeah, that was my Tuesday night at Kiss the Summer Hello. So thank you guys so much for watching and, you know, listening to me ramble on about how freaking amazing it is in my job. And yeah, I encourage you all to subscribe if you have not already. The button is right below this screen. As always, please be sure to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, to stay updated with everything that's happening in my life. And then also, if you like this video, be sure to like it. Give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up are always good. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you this week. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out to watch, and I will see you again next time.